This is designed at 28 square metres as basically half the size of a one-bedroom apartment. It's meant to be half the price. It's meant to have half the embodied carbon. It's designed to have half the operational carbon and ideally half the bills. Nightingale was imagined as a triple bottom line housing model. Housing that was simultaneously affordable, sustainable, and a building that promotes community. Nightingale Preston is comprised of 55 apartments. 1 guest house shared by all of the residents, 2 commercial spaces, 21 bedroom apartments, 25 2-bedroom apartments, and then 7 tile house apartments which have a 28 square metre footprint. So it's a German word for part of house because the rest of the house exists everywhere else in the building. I'm Jeremy McLeod. I'm the design director and co-founder of Breathe Architecture. I'm also the co-founder of Nightingale Housing. This is Jam's Tile House. This building is located in Preston. It's 7 kilometres north of the centre of Melbourne. This is part of a broader project. It's called Preston Crossing, where there's some social housing, some townhouses, other apartments, and then this building that we're in, Nightingale Preston. Nightingale is a not-for-profit developer, so this project was developed where the housing was sold at cost, which is unlike most other housing development. The building's 100% electric, it's powered off 100% renewables, it's thermally efficient, it has no operational carbon attached to it, and importantly, Nightingale has a pay-to-rent scheme, which means that every resident in this building pays rent annually to the traditional owners in acknowledgement that this country was stolen, that these lands were never ceded, and that there's no treaty with the traditional owners. Rather than building big penthouses for a select few, on the rooftop we have these beautiful shared amenities. So we've got a shared laundry, there's some additional storage area, a dining area for functions that spills out onto the rooftop area. We have shared rooftop garden beds so people can grow vegetables on the roof. So there's a gardening committee that's formed in this building. There is a beautiful bathhouse that everyone gets to share. People with kids sit around having a chat while their kids kind of bathe together in summer. We're sitting in a 28 square metre tile house. We have a deck, a beautiful kitchen, a lounge area, a nook that Jam uses as a study, a bathroom, and upstairs we have the sleeping loft, which won't suit a lot of people, but it does suit young people who are looking for a smaller footprint, largely due to affordability.
Issue 2 of our magazine is all about finding ways to slow down in the city. Take a cue from our sloths. But don't go slow in getting your copy because this baby is loaded with all the good things. Gentle and joyful urban art that invites us to pause, ponder and smile. Wild and wonderful architecture and design full of optimism and a determination to do things differently. There are more small homes to explore and get lost in too. Inspiration for living lighter and finding poetry in the everyday. And a shitload of bricks. Get your copy now. Visit nevertoosmall.com/store.
This tile house is imagined as a new form of terrace house. There's a little seat and some steps. The gate then enables you to be able to have small kids or pets inside that enclosed area. And then the screen also provides this kind of growing platform for all of these climbers to grow up and vegetate the facade of the building. One of the things that we design into every one of our apartments, whether it be a tile house on the ground floor or an apartment on an upper level, is that we provide a planter box and a tap. You can treat your deck as an extension of your life, a place where you can wash down your boots or do some hobbies outside. Importantly, the entry door opens outwards. This is very unusual in Australia, but it's normal in colder European countries. It doesn't just give us a better thermal seal, but it provides us with space inside the very entry to be able to furnish it, to be able to customise it to your own needs. We've designed the entire building to be highly thermally efficient, which means we've got a building that doesn't require air conditioning to cool it in summer, but we have designed in Melbourne's climate zone hydronic heating throughout the entire building. And it's located next to the glass to make this little dining nook a beautiful, warm, cosy place to dine. The ceiling height in this space is around 4.5 metres, which gives you this great sense of volume. But as you step into the living area, by designing this simple light fitting and bringing it down, we make it cosier. We intentionally didn't design in furniture or shelves. You can see that Jam's put in this incredible mid-century piece, and we love the way that it doesn't touch the ground. So again, it kind of draws your eye up. It also feels spacious underneath. We also like how Jam has used the rug to frame the living room to define that space. The kitchen is made of stainless steel and E0 MDF. Imagine that someone wants to change this kitchen in 10 years' time and this kitchen gets pulled out. That stainless steel can be recycled, as can the MDF. And we also pick the kitchen up off the ground so that it seems to float in the space. The kitchen has a full-size induction cooktop with 4 burners, the full-size oven, an integrated dishwasher, a full-size integrated fridge, overhead cupboards, and then full-height storage above that. And most importantly, it has a full-size pantry. The stainless steel splashback can hold magnets, which means it can be used as a kitchen organiser. We add this stainless steel pot rail to be able to add the functionality where you need it above the sink. The space under the loft, in our design phase, we imagined this as a multifunctional space, and Jam chose to put in the desk through that design and construction process. With the desk, Jam chose a generous size so that he doesn't just have to work alone there, 2 people can actually work in this space. There is a full-size wardrobe in there, and then the joinery was designed around that to be able to effortlessly get as much storage in and around that desk as possible. We created a loft space with a relatively low ceiling height. The ladder is made of Victorian hardwood, and the handrail is made of a circular timber dowel to make it easier to go up and down. The loft level is enclosed by diamond mesh. It also talks to the industrial mesh that's outside our building that we use to grow plants on. Here you can see that Jam has used it to grow his devil's ivy on. Given the relatively low ceiling height, Jam uses a futon to be able to bring the height of the bed down and make it feel more spacious and lofty. The storage that runs through can be also used as a little reading nook, as a bench seat. In this instance, Jam's built in a hanging rail in the same galvanised pipe material as the fire services to be able to hang all of his hoodies on. The loft structure is made of hardwood timber beams, and we expose those beams to give a bit more height, a bit more volume underneath that space. We also carry that sense of volume and the exposed joists through into the bathroom. The bathroom doesn't have a window, but it reflects the light from the living room deep into the bathroom. And behind that mirror is a full-length shaving cabinet, so lots and lots of storage in that space. On the floor are Australian manufactured brick tiles, and they wrap up the floor in stack bond and all the way up the wall. So it's a singular material, which again gives the sense of height. The bathroom has a floating sink, and underneath it we use a copper S-trap pipe so that, if we're exposing the pipe, at least it looks beautiful and considered. We use an architecture of simplicity and architecture of reductionism. So when we take out things like additional ceiling lining to expose the concrete from the structure above, it gives us extra volume. In doing that, it means that we need to curate things like the kitchen exhaust. It means that we need to expose the fire services So we work very carefully to curate those service runs, but also choose carefully the materials that we use. The floor is pre-finished cork. It's a highly sustainable material. In fact, it's a carbon sequester rather than a carbon emitter. It works to absorb impact sound and it's easy to maintain. This tile house apartment is designed in a complex housing market where an entire generation has been locked out of housing security. We imagine that what we're providing is the starting point for someone's life, not the end point. So we think through the design from a functionality point of view. We think through the materials from a sustainability and a usability point of view. This is not for everyone. I understand that, but I do think that we need to be offering something that's different from a broken system to offer someone access to housing and housing security. This is one of our small attempts to try to drive some positive change in a very, very tough economic climate.
Sign up to our newsletter for subscriber-only content and exclusive offers. Visit nevertoosmall.com/subscribe.